I'm Edwin Capel, and I'm honored to be your host tonight. I'm also one of the mentors here at Next Academy. And on behalf of my team, we would like to thank you for being here tonight. Okay? Hi, Aman. Welcome. Okay, let's get everyone settled. Find your seats. How's everyone this evening? Good? I only feel the energy from this side. How about this side? That's more like it, yeah. That's more like it. And then this side? All together? Okay, I like the spirit now. Okay. Since the inception of Next Academy in 2014, we have seen more than 1,300 students graduate from Next Academy. Our mission here at Next Academy is to empower passionate individuals with the skills, knowledge, and to create networks that will help them grow great companies. We also want to be able to help make the tech ecosystem better, right? Okay. Let's know more about you guys. How many of you guys are here for the very first time? Okay. A lot of familiar faces also, even though a lot of show of hands. How many of you here are here to scout for talents? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wow, a lot. Okay. You guys are here at the right place because the students will not disappoint. The students have come up with amazing projects. They have incorporated tech like Raspberry Pi and Nokogiri to scrape real and valuable data. Okay? Let's go ahead and talk about the teams. There's no theme for tonight. None. Why, you ask? It's because we wanted to give the students the freedom to explore ideas that they are passionate about. Okay? Rules. There's each group has 7 minutes to present. And after each presentation, there's going to be a Q&A. The agenda. So there are 4 groups, and they come from all different backgrounds. Some interesting stories about them is we have one student. His name is Robert. Before Next Academy, he was a foreman in Iraq. And his story, he talked to me before, and his story is pretty interesting. Before Next Academy, he was in a war-stricken area. Yeah. And next, another example of our student is we have Sean. Sean, also a pretty interesting student. He owns a company in New Zealand called Tech Day, right? So he came here to make his website better. His website, Tech Day, has more than millions of visitors per month. Millions of visitors per month. And he has taken his time off to make his website better. And he has. So at the end of the day, at the end of the event, he will showcase his project. And a final example, would be Alicia. Alicia, she's a UCLA alumni. She took time off to her summer time off to come here at Next Academy and to study. Okay, you'll get to know more about the other students later on. So please remember to take note of your favorite teams, and then after we're done with the presentation, the students you will choose your favorite teams and vote through the app. Okay. Lastly, we will all take a group photo with the crowd, the team and the crowd. We will really like that. And last but not least, please, after the group photo, please take the time to mingle with the students, get to know them, get to know the projects they've been working on, find out what they want to do after next. Since some of you already raised your hands that you are searching for talents, these students have made me so proud, me and the other mentors so proud. They have done an amazing job. They have also used tech that's not included in the syllabus. They've used, as I mentioned, they use the Raspberry Pi. We don't teach them, we just give them the guidance. They have also used Nokogiri to scrape real data. So that, really proud of them. Okay, so the first team, Ibu.
I'm Ben. I'm from the UK, and again, no previous experience in coding whatsoever.
Good evening, everyone. I'm from Kazakhstan, and my name is Janat. I got some experience before about IT, and I came here to improve my skills, and I got it.
'52.
What if you want to connect with the other users and share with the experience what they have done? So you just click the button of start the conversation now. You find the user with who you want to connect. So let's say we want to speak with a Jamal Dash. And we just say, hey. And this is how it works. Like it's the first message with that user.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, wonderful presentation by I Bet You. We are opening questions for the audience. Any questions?
Hi. How do you know if the person's actually completed the challenge?
They should upload a photo or a video to prove that they have completed the challenge.
I see. And is this a form of gambling?
Any other questions from the public?
Well, I can just say, how do you... Uploader, it just saves to the database. Multiple file formats.
Let's give a hand to I Bet You. Okay, thank you. Yep, thank you. Okay, up next, we have Woofles. Imagine solving the problem where you don't have to constantly remember to feed your pet. Your pet feeder feeds your pet for you. So this is what Woofle aims to solve. So let's give a round of applause for Woofles.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, again. As you all know, I'm Alicia and this is Jeff, and we're from the Woofles team. Can I see a show of hands? How many of you here have a pet? Oh, quite a number of you. So imagine this scenario where you're working late in the office, life of a coder. Working late into the office, and suddenly you remember, oh my goodness, my pet. What happens? Who's gonna feed him? Who's gonna feed her? Oh my goodness. Then you remember, oh, you have a smart pet feeder. So Smart Pet Feeder is a tool built using Raspberry Pi, and we figured there is a need for it because it uses scheduled feeding, and the cool thing about it is you could control it remotely. So you could control it from home, say at 12 p.m., noon. You decide that, oh, your pet needs an extra food, and you want to feed it right on the spot. So you could do that with just a web interface provided by us. And as an additional feature, we do have a cleaning reminder as well, once a week. For example, every Sunday, 10 a.m., it would remind you, oh, hey, your pet feeder is pretty dirty. Do you want to clean it up? Of course, there's an option to turn it off. So, yeah. So the whole point of this pet feeder is such that it's very accessible anywhere, everywhere. So we also make it very mobile responsive, and there's actually a QR code here to scan to check it out for yourself. It is mobile responsive, but we do ask that you don't mess with it first. Just write it. And there are some programming languages and tools involved in building this, the most common one being Ruby on Rails, majority of it, and we have Python connecting to the Raspberry Pi, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and obviously the Raspberry Pi 3 itself. So let's jump right into it and demo the pet feeder. Oh, by the way, introducing, this is my pet, Penguin. Her name is Molly. Right. So yeah, this is the sign-in page of Smart Pet Feeder. We decided to use all these keypads because ultimately we don't want the hassle of signing in using an email every single time. So let's just click enter. This is live, yeah? Yep, this is logging in, and this is what we call the control room. As we could see, you could turn off and turn on the cleaning reminder, automatic feeding. You could check when my pet, Molly, was last fed, and you could check the feeding time that you have set so far. And I want to explain a little bit about the feeding duration is such that how long you would run this dispenser for, and we will demonstrate to you right away right now how we could turn it on right now. Say, for example, feed it for 2 seconds. Do you hear the beep? That is the sign to call your pet. Beep, 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 it's time for food. So we're using the positive reinforcement such that the pet would know when to come to the food. And the cool thing about this is whenever it feeds your pet, we would be able to see, it would send an email to you telling you that, hey, we have fed your pet. Sorry. For some weird reason, it's deciding not to work right now, but I can demonstrate to you that it has worked previously. For example, when it didn't work, they would tell you that, oh, we'll try to feed your pet at this time, this hour, but it didn't work. So would you want to contact us? Would you like to try again? Yep, so that is basically it for the pet feeder. And now handing over to Jeff for the technical side.
All right. So essentially, how it works in the technical side of things in the back end is that ultimately we have the Ruby on Rails, the HTML, which is where the users are interacting with, and once whatever interaction they do is actually passed on to the shell script of the system, and then the system is actually calling the Python script to talk to actually activate the model. Because what happens is that in Raspberry Pi, they can't actually Raspberry Pi can actually communicate to the external devices via Python. So it's something we actually have to learn up within 2 weeks to actually do this project. And so one of the things that we use in the Unix system, in the Raspberry Pi, or in general in Unix system, is called cron tab. Essentially what this does is that it's a task scheduling system built into Unix systems, Unix OS, which you can use to run certain scripts or certain files at certain time of the day, perform certain tasks. And so what we're doing is essentially asking it to run these Python scripts to feed the pet at this time of the day. And GPIO is essentially the pins the hardware pins that the Raspberry Pi has, which will control the current output, whether to complete the circuit or not, and which will then trigger the motor to turn for a certain amount of time. So essentially what we're doing, this is just a snippet of code to show you guys what happens at the back end, is that the Ruby on Rails, once it receives instruction from the user, it's going to update cron tab, it's going to update Python, it actually passes over the whole script using some coding magic, and then it's taking the new variable, passing it in, and then it's updating the whole process. So then the system knows that now I've got to do it at this time of the day, and this is the duration that I feed it for. And also, just to share with you, coding aside, we actually have to dig out a lot of things that we were taught in high school and never really remembered, but now we actually have to dig it out and do a lot of calculation because we are actually working on a mechanical project. So, your left-hand rules, your P equals to VI, V equals to IR, your anode, cathode, these are the things we actually had to dig out to actually relearn and do a lot of calculation to make sure the circuit works as it should be. Yeah. And then, so that's essentially our project. There are a few improvements that can be made to actually make it a more complete system in that sense. One of the things we can do is actually add a pressure sensor. Well, we thought of doing that. Is what we'll do is actually under the pet feeder bowl here, they will have a pressure sensor, and what it does is actually detects weight. And so from then on, you can actually take the data to see whether the pet has eaten the food or not, how often is it eating, how much food is actually being dispensed, because you can actually measure that in a more objective and more accurate way. And also integrating a Pi camera module whereby you can actually see if your pet is eating, or if it's eating, the pressure senses the changes, and it sends a live feed to your phone. It just triggers a notification. There are things like that we can do, but unfortunately, it's only 2 weeks. We ran out of time, but yep. So that's about it. Thank you.
Amazing project by Woofles, right? Okay. We will take questions from the audience.
Yes, so essentially what happens that is the moment you update it, the Ruby code actually updates the system itself, and from then on you will rely on the updated system within Raspberry Pi, so even if there's no internet during certain time of the day, it will still run. Yeah.
Let's do it for a little longer this time, maybe 5 seconds.
Can everyone see the rotor spinning. Any other questions from the crowd?
Is Sean?
Yes, Sean, go ahead.
Yep, the both of us had no fundamentals in Python.
Interesting fact, because I'm their mentor. Jeff took all the effort to go all the way to Kampa to learn from a fellow friend on how to learn to code Python and how to operate the Raspberry Pi. So kudos to you for the efforts and teaching Alicia. Any other questions from the crowd? Okay, I figure that's it.
Thank you.
Good job. Okay, that was an amazing project. We have 3 more amazing projects coming right up. And the next team is RoVix. Let's give a hands of applause to RoVix.
All right. My name's Robert, and this. So that's why our team, RoVix. So money. I believe everybody here is really interested to make money, right? So usually, the number one way we make money is through investments or hard work, of course. But when you do want to make an investment, you usually go to financial sites like this one. And if you're a new investor, if you're looking at all this chart, you're wondering what it really means, what's going on, and it kind of puts a block on what you're trying to do. And if you do decide to go on with an investment, you study the data, and once you study the data and make the investment, your investment crashes, right? And you're like, what's going on? What's going on with my money? Why did my investment go wrong? I studied this, and all of a sudden it changed. So what do you do right away? You go on Google. You're typing in the company name. You're going through social media sites. You're digging in, trying to figure out what's going on with your money, because it's our money. We care about our money. So in comes RoVix. So at RoVix, what our goal is to empower users by providing them real-time data, up-to-the-minute social tweets, and the latest articles. So let's say you're interested in Facebook and you want to make an investment in Facebook. So you can go to our search panel, type in Facebook, and hit search. So we're going to show you what's going on behind the scenes. We're actually using a gem called Nokogiri, which allows us to go through several sources, and we're actually taking data from 4 different providers to simplify the user's search process. So what Nokogiri is, it's a gem that parses data, and we're also using Selenium, which is a system that allows us to do the automated browsing. So right now we're scrolling through the sites, we're getting all the data. Now, the user will never see this. This is all behind the scenes. We're just showing you the process of what's going on. And as you can see, it takes such a long time. However, our load time is less than 10 seconds for all of this. So here we have Facebook. Okay, so our dashboard, you can see the latest market price at real time. As you can see, it's 8:30 p.m. You can see the company biography, the latest tweets, and what we have provided the users is real-time tweets. So this will constantly refresh every minute, so you will never have old data. Everything will be constantly updated. You also have the latest news, And if you scroll up a bit, okay. We're also providing sentiment. So users can view what people are actually saying, and let's say you wanted to, okay, so there's a sentiment analysis. So the way we're doing sentiment analysis is we're gathering all the tweets, and we're using a gem called Sentimental. And what this gem does, it goes through every single tweet, and it gives them a grade based on the amount of good words or bad words that they're using. So what we're doing is we're getting every single tweet, the latest tweet, and providing you with the latest sentiment. So right here you can see that 55% of people are buying Facebook stock, and 45% of people are selling it. Users can go ahead and create a watch list. So if you're interested in Facebook, Google, or Alibaba, so these are your top 3 companies you're interested in investing, you can then go to your profile. And here you have a compressed look of all the company's data. So instead of constantly searching every company and seeing the data, you can actually have a compressed look at it. And let's say the user does decide to go ahead and make a trade. What's great about a platform is that it allows users to have an output of every single broker that is partnered with us. So they can go ahead and open an account and commence their investment journey. So what makes our app even greater is that this is at no cost to the user. And the way we're able to do that is through affiliate fees, through as you saw, through the brokers, and through advertisement. So our advertisement will only be financial banking. Right now, the system's only tailored towards the US market, but further development will allow for Asian markets. And so if you are interested in making your next investment, there you go. So you're provided with the latest data. As you can see, the time changed to 8:34 p.m. Your tweets, these are local right now, so it's in 3-minute lalu, 2-minute lalu. All right. And you're also getting the articles within the last 24 hours. And the market sentiment, 80% are buying, of course, because there's a new iPhone coming out. Right now, we're going through 4 different websites. And as you can see, if you're actually loading every browser, every website, it will take you about 45 seconds just to open the page. So we're actually scraping all the data in less than 10 seconds.
Yeah. So essentially, it's a meta search engine plus RSS feeder. Can this be used for politicians?
So, what you mentioned, RSS feeds being done through what's it called? Through APIs, right? So, the ultimate way would be through use APIs, but we wanted to introduce a tech of Nokogiri into our system. It's something that we hadn't had any experience with. So, it can actually be used for any type of search. But right now, we are telling it strictly for companies.
Thank you.
Any more questions? All right, thank you guys.
amazing and excellent project by Robert and Vix. Answering their question just now, yes, you can actually. So usually you use APIs to get the data you want from Twitter or Facebook or whatever. But these guys, they bypass everything. What they do is they go to Twitter, they search for maybe the politician that you are interested in, maybe Donald Trump. You want to follow Donald Trump. Every single tweet. So what these guys are doing is that he goes to Donald Trump's Twitter profile and scrapes every tweet that Donald Trump has ever tweeted or will tweet. Yep. So excellent job. Next we have BinBerries.
Right. Hi, everyone. Thank you for staying here with us the whole evening. Let me just quickly introduce our team. So this is Shin, this is Aslan, and me. My name is Franta, and we'll all be talking, so I'll pass the mic later. And our idea is about, we aim to make the collection of waste more efficient. We aim to reduce the time it takes to collect waste, reduce the cost, make the process more environmentally friendly, and all that. And that's quite a big task, and so we have 3 different solutions how we want to achieve this. So the first thing we did, we installed a mini computer, a Raspberry Pi, just like how the previous group talked about that, into this bin. And we've connected a sonic sensor to the computer. Yeah, we'll have a demo later, don't worry. And that enables us to measure how full the bin is. And then we can transmit this information over the internet and capture it with our application. And we can display some advanced statistics and provide some further insights for those owners of the infrastructure, of the bins. And we can also pass this information directly onto drivers who are responsible for collecting bins. We can do that in real time, which then helps their planning and makes them more efficient. Just to quickly demonstrate our payment feature, for the demonstration we have included also payment feature. We created an account with PayPal, and how the first group mentioned, you can simply put in your credit card details and you can pay for the service. And now I think Aslan will tell you a bit more about the business side of our things, and then we will move on to the technical implementation.
Thanks, Franta. Hi, everyone. So just to before we go into the 2 key services that we'll provide to our client, I'll just give a bit of business context. So don't think about you trying to sort out your bin and bin management system. As Franta mentioned, we help waste management company. So imagine you're a manager of a company or an owner of a company that gets a contract to handle an area with 10 dustbins. Your revenue is fixed. You only get a certain amount of money. The only way you can increase your profit is to make sure that your routing is efficient. But what do you do right now before you have any of this information? You basically just tell your collector, just go there every 10 a.m. and 8 p.m., collect from all the 10 bins, and just use whatever route you have. The problem is, sometimes the bin are empty, sometimes it's not that full, or sometimes already overloaded. So that's the problem that we're trying to solve. By providing the client, i.e. this time the business, information which is real time, we can help you optimize your operations and in a sense, increase your gross profit. So I'll pass it to Shin to talk about the analytics of this all.
All right. Okay. What you see here is the interface when the customer purchase the account and log in. And we have analytics profiles. And here I want to demo you about the feature first. As this the admin console. The admin can actually add the bins, edit the bins. Yep, they can manage all the data inside this admin console. And in our dashboard, before we talk about the map, we go to the analytics. And actually, we combine these IoT devices to collecting the data. And smart city, and that ultimately we need big data to make our city more effective. And this is why we, after collecting the data, and then we create some useful, meaningful statistics to help to analyze our business. And it gives us a better overview of our business decisions and to optimize our resources. For example, in this area, and we can see that why is the top 5 dustbin and why is there are fearing rats. And we also can do something like what is the capacity, like how much of your truck capacity and what is the capacity city that trash of the area. So it helps you to how many trucks that I need to send every day. Yeah, it gives you that overview of our concerns. And you can also see the bins when keep filling up and you collect it and keep filling up and collect it. Yeah, and this all the data that collected from the IoT device. Okay, we can go to the map.
So other than the analytics, the key service that we provide is the map. So with the map, you'll get the bins and the location, the fill level of each bin, and the best, most optimized route for your collection. So for example, this client, right? The client has 10 bins. Without this service, he'll go to all 10 bins. But because of this service, they'll know that only 7 out of the 10 bins have fill level which is above 70%. And without this service, he'll go to all the routes and it'll take them around 45 minutes, 46 minutes for these exact bin locations. But with this map service and the routing service, we can tell them that if they want to collect the bins which is above 70% right now, they only will take 34 minutes with 11.7 kilometers, which is technically 10 minutes saving per collection. That's how we help with the efficiency. And this is just the basic of the map. We use Mapbox. There are 3 areas of expansions. First one is you use Google Maps with real better traffic data, so you have better routing. Second is we can try to integrate them with mobile navigation apps, say Waze or even Mapbox navigation. So the truck collector can actually just one click and get the navigation. And the third one is basically to monitor the track to see whether they are actually optimized. So that's about the map, but the key part about this, which is the IoT part of it, is how do we get the data from each bin to the web app, of which Franta will explain.
Right, so as we can see on the map, this particle bin that Shin just clicked on is the one at Next Academy, right? So that's the one we have right here. And now we put in something, so it should be maybe about 40% full. And it's not yet included in the collection route. As you can see, the blue line doesn't cross this point. And so if everything goes well, which hopefully it will, we can add some more trash to the bin. And there is, as you can see, there's a computer in the lid with a sensor, which will show that after we refresh the page. Okay, let me tell you in the meanwhile just how this mechanism works. So it's based on a sound wave. So the sensor sends a sound wave, and which is then back reflected from the obstacles in the way. And based on how long this transmission took, we can infer how full the bin is. And we can see that now we are getting correct readings that the bin is about 75% full. We round it to a decimal, so on our map it should display as 80% full. And we can see that the bin has also been included in the collection route. And now this, we can conclude our presentation with that.
So just a little bit more on the application before Shin wrap it up. That's just for the sake of demonstration, we put things in. Imagine right now, if you don't have the information, you have 38 minutes, and somehow before you go collect, the bin is actually just 20% like just now. You'll go back to 34 minutes and you'll actually save 4 minutes just by using the service. So that's the key core strength behind the service.
Okay, and finally, we can also simulate for the routes. Yep. As a conclusion, actually, this project actually shows us a lot of potentials that the integration between the web apps and the IoT devices, and actually we can create a lot of things. IoT, this Raspberry Pi basically can attach to anything and attach to any sensors on it, and it can apply to any appliance. So, yeah, by this project, actually, we can combine the web apps and the IoT tech. Actually, it create a very powerful applications into our life. Okay, I think that's all. Thank you. Any questions?
Great project and presentation by BinBerries. Any questions from the crowd?
How much does it cost to fix the sensor to a bin? And secondly, are you guys thinking of selling this mainly for the bigger bins, or is it also for residential use where you've got the smaller bins?
So I can start and you can guys add on to it. So you asked about how much it costs. So I mean, Raspberry Pi is fairly inexpensive, but it's a full-on computer, right? So like probably the first computers which took the first like a spaceship to the moon, you know, they had smaller computing power than this computer that we literally put in a bin. So in practice, you would actually use less powerful sensors, which would also be cheaper, and you would be more concerned about things such as durability and how long they can actually run on a battery. So like the sensors you can normally buy, they run up to 3 years on a single battery, which is very feasible. And they are very durable, of course, you know, for weather conditions and all that. So in practice, you wouldn't use Raspberry Pi. I don't know how much they cost, just to put it out there. And I think such sensors would be more suitable for larger containers. I think for many reasons. One of them would be maybe like the safety aspect. You can kind of install it inside of a larger computer where perhaps it can't be easily taken by, you know, by just people who might want to take it. And also, you wouldn't really achieve meaningful savings by installing in this little bin that we have here. Yeah, guys, if you want to.
We did discuss just by that maybe for the next phase, but basically, what idea that we toyed about is to help cleaning company, recycle cleaners in, say, shopping malls or whatnot, where you can help them map which malls, which bins they go to now versus at 6 p.m. So that's a different angle of application of the tech.
I think most important is I think 5G is not actually infrastructure is not implemented yet. I think once it's implemented, there's a lot of cheaper IoT devices. And yeah, I think at the same time, I think it's good for example, one of the use cases is for recycle bins, where some company can just place a large container in certain areas, and when the recycle bin is being full, they can come and collect.
So maybe just to briefly add on to that, like another interesting application is these like charity boxes, which they don't fill at like a constant rate. You know, sometimes they might be made fill very quickly when people are just for some reason getting rid of their things, and sometimes not. So that might be useful.
Any other questions?
What'd you make the map with and the sort of route thingy?
We use Mapbox because we deliberated between Google Maps and Mapbox. We use Mapbox. So Mapbox have a lot of customizable features that you can use. The key one that we use is basically one, optimized routing, and second one is the actual layering of and the third one is the animation of the car to show. So it's all Mapbox for now.
I think it was probably the most difficult part of our application because there's a lot of sending data between our application and the map, and this data is then displayed in multiple layers, you know, including the car, planning the route, displaying the individual bins and all that. It's done in JavaScript and it's quite tedious.
Thank you for your answers. Do you have any more questions from the crowd?
I have a question. Can you guys go back to your analytics page? It looked like there's a lot of very nice analytics you were doing. Could you just zoom in and maybe go over them a bit more? Because it was hard to see exactly what they were all doing.
I think at the moment, because this simulated data is not actually full data, but yeah. I think this is the percentage of the bin level. Actually, these charts show the bins that are currently have the highest fuel level. That is a priority for the company that want to collect. Yep. And the charts below actually show the trending the fuel level over the hours. Like for each hours, like when people keep throwing the rubbish, it will sense the fuel level. And from this statistic, actually we can see how fast the bill is filling and to make our decisions and how frequent that we need to send our trucks to collect for trash. Yep.
Thank you. Good job, guys. Okay. And finally, we got Sean. Sean will be talking about his app that he has rebuilt.
we run it already full-time. We have 16 employees in New Zealand. We have offices in London, in Johannesburg, Singapore, and Sydney in Australia. And what we do is we run technology news websites. So this is just a list of ones that we run in North America, and Australia, and Europe, etc. So they are news sites about technology, right? So we have the advertising on one side, and we have to write all the content. Okay? And before I came here, the mission that I had was to reinvent my site. And of course, it's not an easy industry to be in online publishing. You need to be thinking about new products that you're offering your clients, new ways, new advertising options, new editorial options, etc. So what has actually happened is our 19 sites, and I'll just give you a couple of examples. So one of them is a gadget website called Futurify, and we have a big traffic. There's like 50,000 people that are visiting this site in New Zealand. And just a little bit lower. Mobile visitors, different operating systems, the whole lot. So this is the rate card that we use to sell advertising to clients. Okay, and we turn over many millions of dollars. We have decent clients like Oracle and Microsoft and others. So we have to have a very professional service. We are doing the interviews ourselves. We're writing the stories ourselves in our different offices. What has happened is that before this, I had no coding experience, and we had existing sites, and so that was 10 weeks ago. And about 4 days ago, we totally relaunched our site. So come on this course, learn to do it with a couple of the instructors, and we have actually relaunched a full network of 19 sites. And what actually happened is they're all working from one system. So they are showing different identities depending on where you're visiting from. So, this one is called Future 5, but this one is IT Brief, and all running from the same system, feeding out different stories, different social media, different color schemes, etc. This is just to show some of the employees and different things. And this is ever so quick, but I just wanted to show you that this is the first 4 hours, and I wanted to demonstrate how you can actually come on this course and change this. So it started off as a blank page, and you can see one by one as I'm constructing parts of the site. And this stuff is actually possible to do. This is using CSS, this is using HTML. You can see me changing my mind a few times, and starting with an index page, putting the login details, the search, starting to put content in, stories, advertising, etc. So I guess I just wanted to give you a demonstration of what is possible in short amounts of time, really. And now we have actually launched these sites, so these are now live. This is, for example, today's story, a couple of stories from today, and we're writing hundreds of stories a week across the network. We also had to migrate into the system over 360,000 users because we send over 300,000 emails a week, email newsletters a week. And you can just see, for example, in the stories alone, there was 40,000 stories that had to be migrated from the previous system into this. So, a massive undertaking with 19 sites and just learning this sort of information. And obviously, it's all live data with all the sites and editing the stories and uploading photos and those sort of things. So the sites are now live, and each of the stories, those sort of things. I've even invented new sections, like this here is a section where people pay to have their documents in IT, it's called white papers, loaded on our site, and they collect customer information each time. So they have lead capture forms on each of the stories. Yeah, so I think that's pretty much it. Just a bit of a demonstration of how many email newsletters, the massive systems behind the scenes to make it all happen. So, yeah. So what's possible in just 10 weeks, and this previously took us 2 years to develop our sites, and I threw them all away, everything that was done in that 2-year period, and 2 developers for 2 years, and moved to this new system after 8 weeks of training, and that's been a 2.5-week development process.
Amazing grit and determination. Before we end this, does anyone have any questions for Sean, the gentleman behind?
Do you monetize your sites with affiliate links by performance marketing networks?
Okay, the answer is mostly no. Most of the revenue comes from paid content. So someone like Microsoft would ask us to interview different customers about their Office products, and then we would write case studies and post those case studies on our sites. We would offer lead capture forms and those sort of things. So the answer is no. We actually just directly engage with these companies, with Microsoft and Oracle and all these.
Can I ask why?
So directly, those companies are willing to pay, us more money than we would get tiny amounts per click from an affiliate.
Thank you for your answer. Anyone else?
How do you, pardon me, how do you drive readers to your website?
Okay, so all of our sites are on Google News, and that's one of the tough parts about behind the scenes here. So you have to make XML site maps that are then available to Google. They only want to see certain stories, they don't want paid content, there's all sorts of algorithms. So we send XML feeds to Google News all the time. Plus, the people that the stories are being written about obviously share those stories on LinkedIn, Twitter, and because our sites are mainly business sites, there tends to be more that Twitter, LinkedIn side of things. So, yeah, other people do the sharing most of it in Google News.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions? Okay. Remember when I told you guys that we're going to be voting for our favorite teams? Okay, so we want you guys to take out your mobile phones and go to this website. Yeah, you can vote for everyone. So once you're on your website, you can vote for your favorite creative websites. Sorry, excuse me. Okay. The votes are in and the people have decided. Okay? So we had 3 categories. Best pitch, best creativity, and best overall app. Right? Okay. And the winner for best app goes to BinBerries. Congrats, guys. And the best pitch goes to, drum roll, drum roll. Woofles! Okay, and the last, best creativity also goes to BinBerries! Congrats, guys. Okay. me and my colleagues here would like to thank everyone for coming here today. We appreciate that you took the time to come and watch these amazing projects that our students have built. In such a short time, they've learned how to build an app from scratch. They've learned how to scrape data. They've learned how to use Raspberry Pi and also map stuff, create an amazing finance app. Please stay around after the event. Talk to the students, get to know them, get to know how they built their project, ask them technical questions. I'm really proud of all of you guys. Good job.